Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 in Flux. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we talk about movies on this show. And in this episode, we are returning to a franchise that we've been working through over the last few months because the new one's coming out in September. That is The Predator. So we've done Predator, we've done Predator 2, we've done Alien Vs Predator, which leads us to Alien Vs Predator Requiem, or AVPR, as the poster's showing me here.
It's a hell of an acronym, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I did see this back when it came out. You know, not in the theaters. I saw it at home.
Home release,
yes.
Because you didn't want to pay for it in the theaters.
I guess, like, I mean, I don't know, because I want to set this up, right? So we'll start spoiler free as we always do. We'll give you a warning before we go to spoilers in the middle. But I want to set this up. I want to give you context for where I was before this came out.
It's all right, because I want to give you some context for how I viewed it today.
Oh god. So AVP was not very good. Wasn't a complete abomination by any means, but it was pretty mediocre and pretty shitty characters. A pale comparison to any of the previous films in either franchise. It was PG-13. They announced the next one was going to be R-rated. It's like, oh, we get a Pred Alien as set up in the last film. Okay, that could be fun. It's going to be set present day on Earth and in a regular town. Okay, and it's going to involve one solo predator coming to hunt down the Pred Alien in this town. All of that sounds good. All of it's like, yeah, this sounds exactly the sort of concept I want in an Alien Predator movie. Do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I can only pinpoint the in the chain where the failure came. I can pinpoint it to the hiring of the directors, the pair of directors who are credited as the Brothers Strause, not the Strause brothers, the Brothers Strause.
That is pretentious.
So right away, I think these guys are a pair of assholes.
Yeah.
Right. Now I don't know if I knew that when I went to see it. Of course, like that's just you know, and it's worth mentioning. I'm just going to look up their other directing credits. Yeah. So the only film they did after this was a film I did not see, but I did hear was equally terrible, if not worse, was Skyline, which was the film that ripped off Battle LA, but they rushed it so it came out before Battle LA, and they actually worked on the visual effects of some various movies. I think it was one of the visual effects artists. I don't know if it was them specifically, but I think it was one of the visual effects guys who like leaked all of the Battle LA stuff to them, or to the studio, so they could quickly do a little cash grab. Right. I heard it was terrible. I never saw it, but yeah, they're typically people who work in effects. They are not traditionally directors.
Right. Okay.
So that's them. So, I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. This movie is absolutely atrocious, and we're going to get into this. And I am going to assume that Connor also did not like it.
Yeah. I want to give some context here, and I know you're not going to like this for 20 seconds, but watching this today... No, I'm giving this context, especially for the people who are on YouTube, for this is a week later for them.
Okay.
This was the day of the first England knockout game in the World Cup. And I watched that, and England haven't gone through a knockout game in like 12 years. And it went to penalties, and England have never won at penalties at the World Cup, ever. And England won, and they got through. So I was pretty elated. Adrenaline was pumping. And then I had to come and watch this.
Good.
That adrenaline turned to rage. I am angry that I had to watch this and ruin what was a pretty good night up till that point.
So here's the first thing I want to say about this that I think is truly impressive. Somehow the scenes that are set during the day look really dark and underexposed. Like,
they look cheap somehow.
They look cheap, but I think lots of films look cheap.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like it with what I assume it's had a reasonable budget, and like, how do you make this look that cheap?
But here's the thing: they're underexposed. The shot, for some reason, they tried to make the daytime scenes. They're out in broad daylight. It's clearly a sunny day, but they've just manipulated the settings on the camera or in post to make it look as dark as possible. It looks really weird and stupid. It looks ugly.
Yeah,
right?
it definitely does.
Every scene, and Connor's holding in hiccups and making weird noises. So, like, there's scenes early on where it's broad daylight. There's a guy delivering a pizza, and it just looks so murky and muddy and
It doesn't look like
ugly.
night.
No,
it
it's not day
looks
for night.
weird.
It's not that. It's different than that. But it's like, I can't even describe it. It just underexposed is the best way I can.
Do you know what the effect of it is? Is when you wear like sunglasses or like like when you wear 3D glasses in a cinema, and everything kind of just dulls.
I guess it's like
kind of that.
They've turned the brightness down. It's really weird. It's just ugly. So even if you're watching it, and because I think when this came out, it would have been SD when I saw it. I mean, HD existed, but I think this was before I made the jump. So I think this was SD I watched it on. Even watching it now in 1080p, it's like, because this is the thing, when stuff really gets going in the last third of the movie, like the actual predator alien fighting and stuff, you can barely see any of it. It takes place in the dark, and it's so underexposed, and
you get flashes of lights basically.
Yeah, like. You can barely tell what's going on, and that just gets worse as the movie goes. So when we actually get to the fighting stuff, we can't even talk about whether or not the fighting is good. I mean, it's bad because you can't see it, but for all we know, the choreography underneath that could be great.
It could have been phenomenal for all we know.
But we can't see shit.
No.
It's muddy and dark.
Could have done with some of that, Predator infrared vision.
Yep. We have some fantastic characters, of course, to usher us through this journey, this cinematic journey. We have generic guy who just got out of prison, McWhitey or whatever we want to call him. I can't remember any characters' names. So if you think I'm going to remember a single character name, you're crazy.
I remember one because they said it about 1,000,000 times.
Do you know what this is? This is like it's like a really bad CW cast, is what they cast in this movie.
It is, isn't it?
Because this guy who is meant to just be back from 3 years at prison just looks like such a baby face, and it just doesn't work. And then his little brother has got a crush on the girl at this house that he's delivering pizza to.
Jess.
Jess, there you go.
The only name I remember because they kept saying it.
And her boyfriend beats him up and throws his keys down the drain or whatever, and he's ready to go with the bat, but it turns out his big brother is the guy who just got out of prison, and he's like there, and he's like, don't ruin your life. I'll help you look for your keys, and it's maybe that's Bond, and that's basically their entire plot. That's basically their entire
I don't know why any of these people exist.
No one really has much to do. They just kind of all exist. And again, like, I like this kind of setup in a better done movie where you've got a town full of characters, so you have an ensemble of all these different people, and it's like
to do something.
But it's like they said, okay, so this is this person, this is this person, but then nothing really happens with any of them other than just running and like.
Yeah, there's a scene with the girl. She's like, "Hey, come swimming tonight." So then she strips off into a swimsuit. It's like, "Hey, you like what you see?" And that's it. Like, what's the point of this? This isn't doing anything. This doesn't go anywhere.
Their entire relationship hinges around the fact that she said, "Oh, you always look at me in class," and he's like, "No, the clock's behind you." And then when she strips down in the swimming pool, she says, and there's a clock behind her. It's like, "Oh, so tell me, are you looking at the clock?" And I'm like, that's their entire relationship. Is that two exchanges?
It is, yeah.
That's it. That's the entire thing. And she also can't act. A lot of these people can't act.
Oh yeah.
She was especially bad though. Ex-prison guy, ex-con. He's also pretty bad at the acting. A lot of bad actors.
Yeah.
And then of course, but here this is the thing though. This is all set up because Prison Guy is supposed to be this movie's Dutch. His name, in fact, I remember his name because his name's Dallas, because that's meant to be like Dutch. It's a place beginning with D, right?
Yeah.
Right, and he's the badass. In fact, not only does he have that name, he actually says the phrase "get to the chopper" at one point later in the film, and it is so cringy. And then another character we're introduced to is this Marine who's just came back from leave, right? And maybe even the Air Force, cause well, maybe not. She flies helicopters. She's got a helicopter's license. But she's back, and she's got a whole thing where her daughter's like pissed at her because she's been gone, and her husband's the only actor I recognise in the whole film's her husband because he was on True Blood.
That's where I saw him.
Yeah. But she is clearly meant to be the Ripley because she's got a little girl that she's trying to protect. But it's so undercooked. Like,
but it doesn't do it. There's like 3 scenes of them together.
Yeah, there's hardly any of it there. It's just the idea that she's like at the end, there's meant to be a couple of lines from the little girl where it's clearly meant to be the Newt moments of her, like, you know, kind of like how Newt would say, "Oh, they come out at night mostly," or whatever. Like, and it's meant to be like that kind of moment, but it's not. You know,
This
when
feels like it's trying to be a greatest hits, isn't it?
yeah, it's when she looks out the window and she sees a monster, and they don't believe her. And it's like, there's monsters out there. It's meant to be like sound like Newt, and then by the end of the movie, marine lady is in a tank top, kind of like Ripley. And at one point when she's driving a tank, kind of like the what was it called, the car thing from Aliens, you know, they go in.
Yeah.
She turns around and says, "Everyone, hold on." It's not a very memorable line, but Ripley did say that in the movie. So
here's my question. So her and the other one, the ex-con guy, like, I get, okay, they're the parallels. I get what their purpose in the movie is.
What they're supposed to be, at least.
Yeah, it doesn't do it. It's not very good, but I understand what they were thinking.
Because this is the thing, I didn't even like start to like realize there were supposed to be these like the new versions of these characters
until like right near the end.
Yeah, it was like the last 30 minutes when it was when she was like driving the tank. I was like, oh, she's meant to be the Ripley. I get what they're doing.
Yeah. But all like the high schoolers, right? What? Why are they in this movie?
They are very. That's a very. I mean, I said it's a very bad CW cast, and it is. Everyone falls into that category, but it's also a very bad slasher movie cast. And, they like because they're just there. Like characters get introduced and killed off almost like in the same scene or the next scene. You know, there's a scene where it's like we have the wife of a cop. We never met the cop until like he was in his death scene, and then we meet like her boss, who's a chef. And then he dies almost immediately.
The first guy goes missing as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, there's like his husband and dad and the son who go missing.
So then they're out looking for them, and while they're out looking for them, he dies.
Yes.
And that's it. His introduction was, "Oh, I should go look for this guy."
Yes. And he dies. You don't care. Honestly, good slasher movies from the 80s have much better characters than this. But you actually care about them. There's enough of a characterization to actually make it work. But that's kind of what it's escalated into. Also, Marine Lady was on 24. I knew I recognised her from something.
See, I don't know.
So I checked. So two people I recognise from TV shows of this era is basically where they're from. So here's some things. Just again, sticking to spoiler-free stuff just now. I couldn't even tell you what I think of the Pred Alien design because it's always in pitch blackness. I can never see it.
Yeah.
You get the odd little glimpse or sense of it here or there, but you can tell what's supposed to be the money shot, and it's like this is meant to be the money shot where I see everything, but I can't see it.
You can tell from the camera angle.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it. Also, the face huggers don't even look yellow because everything's so dark. And on top of that, the chest bursting is the worst it's ever looked. There's no like build up to it. There's no like, oh, you can kind of see it like poking out a little bit and then it splits out. There's none of that.
It's just pop.
The entire chest just explodes, and it's a really bad looking effect where it's like this big physical crater almost in the chest. It has none of the nuance or the natural look to it that it usually does or used to have.
Do you know something that really stuck out to me as well?
Mm-hmm.
I feel there was very little original music in this movie.
No, it's funny.
I picked out a lot of cues from Aliens, and Predator.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff where they kind of like stitch them together and whatnot. What's funny is that the composer of this was Brian Tyler, who's went on to do a lot of great stuff. Clearly, this was like
I like Brian Tyler as a rule.
I think though he was probably directed to just like put themes from the
use these cues.
Yes,
and they're all re-recorded. I can tell you that.
Yes.
So he'll have redone certain arrangements of them to use here.
This was him putting in his this was his rate of passage. You had to do some shit before you could start doing proper stuff.
This isn't even that. This is a paycheck. This is I'll do that for 2 weeks. That'll do.
Well, it's a paycheck before he became like a big enough name that I knew who he was.
Yeah.
You know, this is like early days paycheck.
It is. This is because this is 2-3 weeks worth of work with the minimal amount of actual composition he's done there. It's mostly just
I don't think that's his fault though. I think that was probably directed.
Oh yeah, I'm not blaming him.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to blame any composer because it's clearly that's what they want. In the same way they wanted they wanted the judge. They wanted
and to be fair, if I was making an Alien Predator movie, it would be heavily filled with themes from the past movies. I don't think that.
But you do variations upon, right?
Variations,
you use
absolutely.
ideas and thematic points. You don't just redo them.
Yes, I'll tell you this. Obviously we're not going to talk about it yet because we're still on spoiler free. But I'd remembered like one big thing from the ending, but I didn't remember a lot of it. And I was like surprised again. I was like, oh, I forgot about this a little bit, and I forgot about that, and this happened. So we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, so they look the worst that they ever have. I mean, the Predator himself looks fine. He looks like the Predator,
As much as I can see him, yeah.
Yeah, and like again, conceptually, like the idea that he like finds like he's fallen predators and he like takes some of their weapons, so he's dual wielding the laser cannons. I'm like, all right, okay, that's fun. Like if he's doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that could be fun. Because arguably the stuff that I'm looking forward to the most in this movie is when it's just the Predator hunting the alien. Like, I mean, part of me almost wishes they were ballsy enough to do like a silent film where it was just the Predator and the alien.
You kind of wish there were no people, right?
Yeah. Kind of like how the first like 20-30 minutes of Riddick, or what was the third one called? Oh God, what was the third one called?
Chronicles?
No, that's the second one.
Not the second one?
Oh God, that's going to bug the shit out of me. Oh, it was just Riddick. That's why I'm confused. It was just Riddick.
That one, just Riddick.
That was just Riddick. Yeah.
I thought that was the second one for some reason.
Yeah. So, like the first like 20-30 minutes of that, it's just him on his own, and there's this like alien dog, and it's just all about him and this dog. And he makes say a couple of things because he's a human and he'll mutter to himself, but it's all visual. It's all just like try to like communicate with this alien thing, and it's just, that's all it is. And I almost like it could be on Earth. We could still have like background characters and stuff, but I almost like wish like can I just have a movie that follows the Predator and like have a silent protagonist and just understand things through the visuals and the context, and like that would take a lot of work. It would take a really inventive writer and director to really pull that off.
Be cool though, wouldn't it?
But it would be cool. Instead, we get the stunning plot lines of two brothers looking for keys, the jealous boyfriend who wants to beat up the younger brother, the mother who's got problems with her daughter, and the sheriff who has an odd friendship with the ex-con who is useless at his job. And that's it. That's the extent of the characterization. There's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah, they basically none of them need to exist for this movie.
It also kind of flips who the main character feels like a couple of times. Like I would have said the younger brother and the girlfriend, the love interest.
For the first like 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, they set them up as the main characters, and then by the end of the movie, that's not even close to the case.
No, not at all.
It's really bizarre. It reeks of people who have watched other movies have went, oh, we can do this, and knock out a script and direct it, and it just like, but it's not funny enough like The Room where I can laugh at it and be like, oh, this is entertaining because it's so stupid.
No, it's just bad. It's just really, really bad.
And all of a sudden, Paul W.S. Anderson's film looks like a dream.
I stand by my 3 that I gave it.
Well, that bodes well for this film score. So I guess with that, we'll have the spoiler wall. Let's go beyond.
Let's be honest though.
No one cares. Shit. Yeah, full spoilers. So the girlfriend, whose name I believe was Jessie. So after the whole swimming pool thing, she has nothing to do. She just stands around. Whenever there's a group shot, she's just kind of standing around, and she's just there until she randomly just dies. Because again, for the first chunk, I thought she was like the second main character, and then the Predator and the alien are fighting. The Alien and the Predator are fighting in the hospital, and he throws his disc, his sharp disc thing, his discus, and the Alien dodges, and it flies into her, and she gets like impaled up against the wall. It's just this random thing, and then the little brother gets so mad that he grabs the machine gun that he's got. He just starts firing at the Predator and screaming like he's got a chance. Arnie took days of prep to take down a Predator, and he thinks he's going to do it. This little runt thinks he's got a chance.
Kid should have watched that movie.
And I think that's one of the problems as well, is I get that the Predator, like, in the past he's been a villain, in the past he's hunting humans, but I would have thought, given that he's here to hunt a specific enemy, like the Predalien, he's not here for the humans, I would almost think you would write it that he just ignores the humans. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he's not there for them. Unless they attack him.
Yeah, if they attack him, fair enough.
But and obviously he does here in this scene, But the movie's so murky where the Predator will just kill like random cops and stuff when he encounters them. And it's like, this doesn't jive to me. He's not like under threat or anything.
It's not hunting them.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, because I've always thought of the Predator as they have honor. And I feel like, okay, if it's not there for the sport of hunting the group that he's hunting, then if he's just there is essentially as a cop, as a cleanup crew to try and like stop the spread of the aliens.
Yeah.
And fix their mistake, because it's almost like a hero thing where, or not a hero thing, but like a good thing where like, oh shit, we've like, this is our fault that I bred aliens on this planet. It's almost like he's here to protect Earth. Like he's almost here as, oh no, we can't be responsible for this. This is not, as much as like someone might hunt deer, they don't actually want all the deer on the planet to get destroyed. It's kind of like, oh no, this is our fault, we have to fix this.
But you can't hunt them anymore, can you?
Well, exactly, yeah. So maybe it's selfish in that sense. But still, again, I always thought of the Predators having some honour. And this film just goes back and forth where he's just like killing things left and right for no reason.
Yeah, I never want to watch this again.
Yeah, also, so the Pred alien has this weird ability where it can impregnate women who are already pregnant so they can have a litter of aliens.
Yeah.
Can someone explain this to me? I don't understand this. Why this thing can do it?
I'm pretty sure that's not how biology works, but what do I know?
It sticks its retractable mouth into the mouth of a pregnant woman, and then later on we see like 4 little baby aliens coming out of it. It's like I don't know if they're suggesting that this is how like predators mate. So it's like adapted some of the predator's biology.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it's something the predators can do, but like I'm stretching there. I'm just trying to explain.
Yeah,
it.
I mean that's maybe the best you.
Because it's only this one that can do it. It's not like the Alien Queen can do this or anything like that.
That we've ever seen.
Yeah, but it feels out of nowhere. It feels like it's just there for an excuse to have a lot more aliens. Even though we do have facehuggers running around, just have more facehuggers.
Yeah.
Because literally, the only reason why those facehuggers even there is because the Predator ship had 3 and some test tubes. Just have 10 test tubes.
Yeah, it's like you've already given a reason to have some there. It's like, yeah, well, same reason will do. You've done it. It's not an offensive idea that in itself.
No,
like,
that's fine. Whatever.
You wanted aliens. Makes sense. That's what the movie is.
Hey, have some eggs and some test tubes as well. Like, have a whole set. And
yeah, sure. Why
there
not?
you go.
I wouldn't be anything wrong with that. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And characters just kind of show up in scenes because it's time for them to be there at that scene.
Yeah. None of the characters have any motivation to do anything. They just, oh, I'm here now.
Also, we flip this switch to that the entire town is dangerous, and they all know how dangerous it is. Like almost scene to scene. Like there's no gradual build. It's like after a couple of people have died.
Suddenly evacuation.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like they're driving around and there's cars flipped, and there's like, okay, I know there's like a batch of aliens, but there's not that many. Where, like, because this is all taking place pretty much. Once we get to this point, it's all in one night, right? There's like a day first, and then like the second night's where everything really happens, and it's just kind of like, okay, I didn't feel the build to this at all. We've just cut to it. We're just here now.
Yeah.
And at this point, obviously, the girl's dad, Marine lady's husband, gets killed by the monster, the alien, outside the window. Just impales him, and they have to run. They have to run for it.
At least there's blood in this one.
I can barely see it, but aye.
But I know there's blood. There is a thick liquid coming out of things, splashing all over the screen. I'm like, well, I guess that's blood.
Yeah, do you know what the funny thing is? Like the script is terrible, but let's say it looked good, right? Let's say it looked good and everything was cool and fun and like exciting. Like, it may still be kind of enjoyable in a kind of crappy slasher movie where, okay, the characters are all garbage, but every time it gets
cool
to
kills.
Yeah, but every time it gets to the Predator and Alien, it's fun, right? But this just fundamentally fails in filmmaking. The filmmaking is just garbage.
It baffles me that you say these are visual effects people. How things look is what they're supposed to be good at. Like, you're a visual effects, so you want to show off your work, right? You want to be, hey, look, I did this. This looks great. Look at it. You don't want to hide it. Maybe are they that ashamed of their work?
Unless you're a shit visual effects person and your entire thing is that you hide your crappy effects and shadows.
That's it. They realised, oh, we're really shit at directed. Let's just hide it.
Yeah.
They're like, let's put a filter on in post. Let's just throw it on and be like, you don't need to see this.
Didn't work.
It didn't, no. But I think that might be what they tried to do.
And there's a point in the movie where like they call outside for help, and like this secret government guy is like, oh, there's going to be like an airlift in the center of town, and the sheriff's like, okay, we need to go there, and then Marine lady's like, you know what, no, something's fishy about this. That's right in the middle of town. Like they want to contain this first. I think this is just like leading to our deaths. We should go to the hospital because there's a helicopter there. And basically there's like two cars.
And the guy's like, hey, hang on, wouldn't the people in the hospital have taken the helicopter? We'll just hope they didn't.
Yes. I mean, I don't necessarily mind that so much if the logic is, well, there's a chance there's a helicopter there.
Yeah. But they're like,
because the point is she thinks that she firmly believes 100% there's no chance there's actually an airlift.
Yeah.
Right? So she's saying at least there's a chance the helicopter's still there. And they're just taking that line out, to be honest, though, and not questioned it. Just, yeah, there's a helicopter there, that's fine. And so and we know that the aliens are at the hospital because they've been impregnating all the pregnant ladies, and they've started turning the hallways into the the alien style of hallways with all the ridges and stuff. But we know they do that. We've seen it in Aliens as well, where they do that to the previous places, so that's fine. And they come to the hospital, and they're obviously running. This is when Jesse gets killed, and they get to the chopper, and various he ends up picking up one of the Predator weapons, so he's using the Predator rifle, and there's flying away in the helicopter. I actually just finished playing Resident Evil 3 again yesterday, and of course I did. And that ends with like flying away from like the city being nuked. So
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I was getting some weird like deja vu with that. They kind of stole the ending though from Return of the Living Dead. If we're picking a movie they ripped off with the nuke.
Yeah.
So the characters what I was getting to though is that they have this choice, and there's two cars, and the sheriff wants to go to the landing site, and they want to go to the hospital. So it's like, okay, everyone here has to make a choice. Everyone has to pick. This is when we get the character back who's the boss of the pizza boy. He's like, the supervisor.
Yeah, the guy who makes him wear the hat.
He's a bit of a chicken shit. Yeah, that's a plot point. He makes him wear a hat, and then next time he's delivering pizza, he just puts the hat on, and it's never brought up again.
Yeah.
It's never built to death, and it's never like a dramatic moment later on where like maybe he punches him in the face and says, screw your hat or something, because he's like standing up for himself.
It's never mentioned again. It's like he makes a whole big eye on it. It's like, hey, you're only making me wear a hat because someone made you wear a hat. And I'm like, okay, yeah, look, you can do something with this. It's like, the idea of, systems and cycles.
Yeah, maybe he has to learn to understand why people do the things they do, why he should play by the rules. But there's never any of this, doesn't it?
He just wears the hat. He goes, screw it.
All of the stuff that the characters set up, that the mother has to like rekindle her relationship with her daughter, never really concludes, never goes anywhere. The fact that he has...
It's not even that it doesn't conclude. It doesn't actually start. It presents the idea and then never does anything with it at all.
I mean, like, I'm going to give them a pass. I'm going to say, no, the fact that they brought it up was them starting it. I'm going to give that a pass and say they started it. But it didn't do anything after that. Didn't continue it, didn't finish it. Him having authority problems, the pizza boy, never gets brought up. The whole romance with the girl is dropped completely after the swimming pool scene, is never brought up again, except for the fact that he's angry when she dies. But, that's just, like, whatever.
I think from context, they were friends before she got this boyfriend that was a dick anyway, so he's probably going to be pretty angry that his friend died, regardless. But again,
it's something else they set up and start and don't do anything with after a certain point. The friendship between the sheriff and the ex-con, once they split up, it's like, well, we didn't really do anything with it. Like, because you think, maybe the sheriff will maybe suspect, this is happening because he's just came back to town. Maybe does he have something to do with this? And instead, it's just this awkward thing where he keeps like offering to go along with him. Oh, do you want some help, sheriff? I'll come with you, even though I'm not a cop and I'll just be sitting there in my leather jacket.
Yeah, I don't know what is the point of this movie?
To make money, because AVP made some money.
This one can't have done, because there would have been another one.
Not enough, no. This basically destroyed the franchise until Predators, which of course we'll be doing sometime soon. But that is, none of the characters that are set up, which are all thin to begin with. Let's make that clear. They're all dirt thin to begin with.
But that is set up.
But none of it ever actually concludes in any kind of satisfying, like, Or even satisfying. Just forget satisfying.
It just doesn't conclude.
It doesn't conclude. There's no payoff to any of it. There's no, here's the resolution. Oh, here's where the daughter looks up to her mother and feels safe. Here's where Pizza Boy says, okay, I have to listen to my big brother and do what he says. Here's where Big Brother, I mean, Big Brother doesn't really have like even a start of an arc. Like, I don't even know what they're trying to do with him.
I have no idea.
He's already had his arc. He became a better person in prison. He's already done. That's his arc.
Yeah.
It already happened.
Girl died.
Girl died. Pizza supervisor died. And that's the whole thing. The setup that he's a bit of a chicken shit, that he like, let people die and didn't do anything, and you think, oh, maybe that'll be his arc, that he'll have like a brave moment before he dies or something. Instead, no, he actually complains on the way to the hospital that, oh, let's not help anyone, let's just keep going. That's not, you know, he's still just as selfish and like chicken shit as he was before. I was like, okay, all right.
This movie accomplishes nothing. Literally nothing with any character. There's no resolution between the aliens and the Predator stuff because I can't see any of it.
You can't see any of it, and then the Predator doesn't win or lose. The town just gets nuked and it's over.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no like, oh, the Predator finally achieved what he set out to do. It's just, no, the town is nuked and it's over.
I think they didn't want the Predator to seem like the hero, right? Because, you know, we're saying how he kind of is the hero of the movie.
But he should have done that. That's the premise of the freaking movie.
No, I agree. I'm saying, that's the point. He comes as the hero to stop this getting out of hand. But it's like they went, we know that's what you're doing there, but we don't actually want him to be the hero.
And there's a moment, actually, he goes to the crash site of the previous ship, and he's looking over it, and he takes off his helmet, or his mask, and picks off the dead Predator's mask, and he looks at the visor, because apparently this records some footage, so he looks at the footage of...
Seems plausible enough.
Yeah, it's fine, I'm not complaining about it. But when he was doing this, like I actually thought I was giving them too much credit. I thought they were about to have like a moment to make us care about him, where maybe this was a Predator he knew. Like maybe this was the one from the last movie who had the little mark in his helmet, right?
Okay,
and I thought maybe he would take that and put that on because that's someone he knows, and we'd like, oh, there's a personal connection here. I was thinking, oh, that's how you do it in this scene. You make it clear that this was someone he cared about in his world, and it didn't do that. I was giving it far too much credit. Which, by the way. Did we see the Predator homeworld in this?
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, it cuts to this Predator getting like the signal that this has happened, and we see the ship leave the planet, and I'm like, oh, is that the Predator homeworld? This is the first time we see it? Is this one cutaway shot at the start of a shitty movie?
I'm pretty sure that's what that was. I mean, I guess you could say the signal went to something on the ship already, and he was off on another planet hunting, and
possibly.
Then, I better go deal with that, but...
Regardless, I'm striking this from the canon. It's done. This is out of continuity.
Yeah. No,
first one as well, while we're at it. But this one especially. Yeah, and so we have the final... So they escape in the helicopter, the few that survive, and we find out the secret businessman, or the government guy, he's got some of the Predator tech. They've gotten some of the weapons, and he's got it in a case, and he gives it to this mysterious woman, and he's like... Oh, that's not of this world, is it, Miss Yutani? Because we got Wayland in the last one, so we got Yutani in this one, who eventually will merge into Wayland Yutani. Let's say this is still in canon, right? That leads to some questions of, like, Wayland Yutani knows about Predators, like, this entire time. They know there's alien life. Which I guess they would, because they were determined to find...
They were searching for alien life.
They were searching for it, so that makes some sense, but... I don't know. Screw that ending.
I don't even have an opinion on the ending because I just don't care.
It's just there to be the setup and connection to.
It's the sequel bait.
More movies. There ain't no sequels to this. Not really.
No, that's not. But that was the intention when they put it in. It was like, here next time.
Instead, we eventually got Predators. Apparently, a third Predator movie, and we got Prometheus on the alien side. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to. The Alien franchise eventually being taken away from Ridley Scott, and they just, let's just do an Alien movie.
Yeah. I mean, Prometheus and Covenant were both much better than both of these AVP movies.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but Like, I mean, I hate Covenant for different reasons, obviously. Obviously, as a piece of filmmaking, it looks good. Like, you know, Ridley Scott's a director.
It is objectively just better.
Yes.
It's not even. I don't even think it's an awful movie. I think it's a bad Alien movie, though, because it's just not. He doesn't want to do Alien movies. He wants to do AI movies, but
I still think it's a bad movie because by trying to shoehorn in all the alien stuff, it actually makes it a bad movie overall.
Oh, that's fair.
Because the last act is just, here's a quick alien like movie.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
But yeah, so that didn't do that well. So hopefully Prometheus 3 is dead and buried, and we can just get a proper aliens movie in a little bit. I'm still upset about that Neil Blomkamp.
With someone who wants to make an alien movie and
yes,
not
exactly.
an AI movie, which is clearly what Ridley Scott wants to make.
I mean, again, I don't really need sequels to either of these franchises forever. Like, they can just stop, sure, but if we're going to get alien movies, I want alien movies.
Otherwise, we'll make them good.
Yes. But yeah, so Predators is next on the franchise docket. So we'll get to that probably next month or so. Which makes sense because that'll be in August, and then we'll get the new one in September, and that'll be fun, hopefully. So it'll be better than this. I am confident in saying the Predator will be better than this in the last movie.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about it because, you know, if you watched that trailer talk recently, you'll have heard our opinions on it. But yeah, it's obviously going to be better than this.
Yes, I'll be able to see what's going on for a start.
Yeah.
I see more of the Predator in that trailer than I do in this movie.
that might be true.
Yeah. Again, not because he's not on screen, but because it's so goddamn dark. Again, fundamentals of filmmaking that even the worst movies usually can get right. Maybe not in a stylistic way, maybe it doesn't look great, but they'll at least expose it so you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. In fact, we are better lit right now than this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Which we should never be able to say. A professionally lit movie should always look better than what we do right now.
Yeah, I have a lamp, which is a very yellowy orange lamp.
I don't even have a lamp. I've got overhead lights. They're not even in the right direction.
Well, yeah, no, I don't have the overhead lights on. I've literally got just a lamp in a dark room, which is why I've got a slightly orangey glow.
Yeah, it's the glow, sure. Yeah, it's not the gingerness.
Yeah, it's none of this. None of this. It's the light. It's all a trick of the light.
Yeah.
Every time you see me, it's a trick of the light. But
I'm not really ginger. I've got dark hair. Just, the light just always bounces in such a way I look ginger.
It does. It's just what can I say?
Oh dear. Yeah, this is a complete piece of shit. Pretty much from start to finish. There's some conceptual things that I like, but the problem with the movie is that the execution in every step of the script and every step of how it's shot, some of the effects and the design of some of this stuff is bad. That's kind of lower down the problems. If we're talking about what's bad conceptually, the weird pregnancy thing is like really bizarre and just out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't have too much problem with most of the design stuff because most of the designs are pretty much Predator and Alien designs.
I was mentioning the Chestbusters redesigned and looks weird.
Oh, right, okay.
The Pred Alien's kind of hard to tell. Looks a bit overcomplicated.
Yeah, I don't want to judge it though because I can't see it properly.
But like I say, and conceptually, other than the stupid birthing thing, like the idea of the movie and what the Predator's doing, I like, but it's the execution at every fundamental level is a complete disaster.
It's
I'm honestly surprised that the sound doesn't have hiss on it and
I think
crackles.
That's the one thing I can compliment on a technical level is I can always hear what's happening. Yeah, it's mixed correctly.
Glowing praise. The sound is mixed okay. Glowing praise.
Yeah. I mean, given that we're talking about that we can't see, I think the fact that I can hear is kind of worth noting at this point.
That said, this makes it the perfect movie for you to star in.
Very good.
In the shadows.
Yes, very good.
I guess that's Alien Vs Predator Requiem.
Thank God it's done.
It's done. Let us know what you think of it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. We need to rate it though. Let's rate it out of 10. What are you giving it?
Is this a 1? This might be a 1.
Maybe a 1.
Maybe a 1.5 at a push.
I gave Birdemic a 1, so I'll give this a 1.5.
Sure, 1.5 will be nice.
Oh, actually, I'll have a think about it. I give The Room a 1. Is this... I mean, obviously I enjoy watching The Room more, but objectively, if I'm looking at it objectively, between this and The Room, is The Room actually a better film? Is these boring nothing characters, are they worse than characters that are comically silly, like The Room is? What is worse out of those two?
I know this is going to sound weird, but I can see what's happening in The Room.
You can see what's happening in The Room, but they also use both a film and a HD camera because the director didn't know the difference and just used both.
Yeah, and also, while I said the sound is very consistent in this movie, it always works.
Mm-hmm.
In The Room, there are the dubbing is all over the place, so that is objectively worse.
Yes, and it's got very repetitive with its music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is objectively a little bit better than The Room.
If only because it's got like an actual studio, having backing it with proper equipment and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yes.
there's not much in it.
There's not.
The fact that we're having this conversation at all tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm landing on 1.5. One of the worst films we've done on Influx.
I think it is by far the lowest that we've rated.
Maybe the worst. I can't remember what else we've talked about.
I don't remember ever going below a 2 before.
Yeah. Waterworld's better. Super Mario Bros. Was better. Hell, compared to this, Super Mario Bros. Is a treat.
Yeah.
Stuff happens in that movie, and I can see it all.
That movie didn't make me angry.
Yep. So this is Alien Vs Predator Requiem. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You get some bonuses over there. You get these Influx episodes a week early. You also get to see all the various shows we have. You get links to all the audio feeds, and of course there's more stuff. You get to vote in the $5 tier for a movie once a month, all that stuff. It's also worth mentioning this we're doing extra episodes this month to make up for some time that we missed over April and May. So this should be the first of 2 episodes this week. Or the second of 2 episodes this week. I'm not actually sure.
You haven't decided, have you?
I haven't decided yet. Given that I mentioned it in this one, though, I should probably put this one up first just so they know, hey, that's why there's 2 this week and not just the other one.
Yeah, I figured you were going to do it in the last one, and then you just didn't.
I forgot. What can I say?
I thought it'll just be a nice surprise for them when a second one pops up.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so that's Alien vs Predator Requiem. It is a complete, total, and utter piece of shit. I do not recommend it, needless to say. But that is us. So get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates, and that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies, guys, and we'll see you next time.